Danny Willett is without question the European Tour's in-form player. His win last weekend at the European Masters followed up a top 10 finish at the Open Championship. The Yorkshireman has already won 2 Tour titles since turning pro in 2008. This win at the 2012 BMW International Open was his first, followed by victory in this season's curtain raiser, the Nedbank Golf Challenge last December. On a steady improvement curve, this year's Open Championship at St Andrews was Willett's best major finish.
It was a good week, obviously, reflecting back, and you know, 6th in a major is pretty good. It was a shame, you know, we've got the game to go a little bit better than that, obviously, but just didn't quite come off the 3rd round and then the front 9 on the last round. But yeah, I mean, you can never walk away, I think, from a top 10 in a major. Too disappointed.
Rubbing shoulders with the world's elite is now commonplace for Danny, whose latest win saw him jump back to 2nd in the race to Dubai.
It's obviously, you know, trying to keep us high up on that is pretty good. You know, it's unless you've got an exemption every year, it's kind of right. Get to the 110 mark, then get to the 60 mark, and then kind of work your way up. So, luckily enough, we kind of nailed all that stuff in the first week at Nedbank, which allowed us to kind of release a little bit of pressure on us. So, but yeah, we're just trying to finish as high up as we can, just keep playing good golf.
Consistency is now the priority, and clearly a happy and contented Camp Danny is important to finishing the season well.
Everything's going along nicely. We're working well, we're training good at home. You know, golf courses, we've seen a lot of them before, so it kind of helps. So yeah, I mean, as a whole, everything's going in the right direction. Obviously, our demerit position's nicely placed at the minute. It's a shame Louis jumped us last week, but luckily enough, obviously, we're not a silly amount behind, you know, with the events that we've got coming up. So no, I think we've still got about another 10 events scheduled for this year. So you know, we've got a lot of golf to play there, and a lot of chances to keep pushing on.
Growing up in Sheffield as part of a sporting family, the young Danny tried many sports before settling on golf. But once he had a club in his hand, there was no turning back.
We played a lot of sports. I've got 3 brothers, so there's a lot of us who played a lot of different sports, and it was the one that I kind of, you know, caught on to and enjoyed and was particularly good at. So yeah, and then obviously got into the Sheffield squads, the Yorkshire squads, England squads, and then just kind of went from there. Kind of one of them sports where you don't need to be big, you don't need to be strong, you just need to, you know, have a bit of an eye for playing.
An English amateur champion and part of the 2007 GB&I Walker Cup team, Danny reached the elevated position of being the #1 amateur in the world just before he turned pro.
If you're up the top end of amateur game, I don't see any reason why you can't compete out here. There's a lot of good amateurs, again, you know, you saw that last week at St Andrews. So, yeah, I guess it kind of did, you know, we got used to playing really well, and we won a lot of times, and it gives you that confidence that, you know, you can do this and you can do it to a pretty good level. And then for us, obviously, we played in 2 tour events as an amateur and finished 10th and 19th, which kind of then gives you a little bit more of a, yeah, you know, take a lot of positives away and say, how did you play, how did you get on? You know, could you have done stuff better? And, you know, and then you kind of think to yourself, well, you know, it's probably about time to turn pro, so that's what we did. And yeah, it's worked out pretty good.
You'll probably have noticed by now that Danny talks a lot about we and not I, an important aspect of his sporting philosophy.
I always say we. No, I mean, it's not really just me, is it? You know, I've got me, there's Johnny on the bag, I've got Mike and Pete back home, you know, I've got my physios, you know, I've got family, friends. It's a collective. I think anybody who comes out here and says me is, you know, probably lying. This how people structure themselves and their lives is a big part out here. You see a lot of the stuff that's happened with a few guys when things have gone a bit haywire in the private life. It comes out in this game. You know, it's a difficult one when things aren't all going in the same kind of direction to actually keep your head in the right place. So yeah, it is. It's a big group effort.